welcome to Mondo Street Presents. Tonight I'm joined by singer-songwriter Adam Wedd. Adam, hello.
Hey man, thanks. How you doing? Thanks so much for having me on.
I'm really, really good. How are you today? You well?
I'm very well. Yeah, I've just been cooking, so it's nice to have a little break from that. So it's good.
Just being cooking.
Not a
Any?
metaphor.
No, no, no. Anything special? Do you have a speciality?
I did a bit of chili con carne actually, which was quite
My
nice.
favorite, my
Yeah.
favorite. And you left me out. That's it. Your card's
Uh,
marked. Um,
well, next time I make my way up, I'll bring
yeah,
some.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
we're recording this on the 28th of January. So yesterday, the 27th of January, your new single "Pedal to the Metal" came out.
Yes.
Um, I love it. It's
Thanks,
really good.
man.
It's got a bit of a country twang to it, hasn't it?
It does. It does. It's
Yeah.
it's it's nice. I love country, and yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I played it live for the first time last week. I took myself out to an open mic night, and it seemed to go
Yeah.
down well. So I'm excited to get out there with this one. It should be fun.
Yeah. That's one thing I've noticed looking through your catalogue. You're not afraid to mix up styles, are you? I think one of
Yeah.
your promos you did for oh God, is it Missing Home or Homesick? Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
You were in a cardboard box.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
That's
can't
it.
put
Yeah,
me in a box. Well, I
yeah,
actually
yeah,
am in a box. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
No, that's it.
yeah, I love that way that you
Thanks,
you
man.
just defy that. You just some of your songs are balls out rock songs, and
Thanks, man.
then you cut back to something like oh, there's a song, Sylvia's song.
Oh, you listened to that one. Oh, thanks, man.
Oh, that's lovely, that song,
Oh,
beautiful.
bless you. That's about there's a dog shelter in Wales, and
Right.
they take dogs from all over the world, like Romania, that are otherwise going to be put to sleep. And my
Yeah.
partner is a veterinary surgeon, so she volunteered there sometimes. So I
Yeah.
went to help her out there, and we wrote a song about the lady called Sylvia who runs the
Oh
shelter.
well.
But yeah, I forgot about that song. I need to bring that back.
Hey,
Thanks for
tell you
reminding
what,
me.
bring it back. It's got 33,000 downloads on
That's a
Spotify.
couple. That's just my mum, probably. Yeah.
But no, on Spotify, that's about 5p.
Mm,
So not very
it's
good for you.
true. It's
So
true.
tell me a bit about yourself. Tell me about how you got to where you are
Yeah.
now.
Well, firstly, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. And
You're
like
welcome.
most artists, I'm a little bit of a narcissist, so it's always nice to talk about yourself a little bit. But no, I got into music because I was really shy, and I remember at sort of at family gatherings and parties, I was always the one that was quiet, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a loud noise. I'm going to write some songs, and this is how I
Yeah.
feel. And ever since then, it's been a way of just communicating stuff that
Yeah.
I'm not a very quick thinker. I think I'm a bit of
Okay.
a deep thinker.
Okay.
So if we were to have an argument now, I wouldn't be very good in a rap battle or whatever. I'd be like, "Can I get back to you next week?" And if it's too late by then, but I thought if you write a song,
Yeah.
that's you can say whatever you want to say in 2 or 3 plus minutes, and
Yeah.
give me some time to craft it. And I've been really enjoying that. But I'm from a family of mechanics on my
Yeah.
mum's side and my dad's side,
Wow.
and my uncles, my granddads, even my girlfriend, they know how to fix cars, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I can change a tire. Once I
Yeah. Yeah.
work out that you jack it up after you've unlocked it. But
It won't come off.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But I've sort of yeah, music for me has always been really a precious thing to as
Mhm.
a music lover.
Yeah.
But 2019, I sort of really started to tour a lot, and the first time I played shows out of the UK, and
Yeah.
obviously Brexit and the pandemic sort of put a bit of
Mm.
a hold to that. But it's good to be back out there now doing it again.
Yeah. Yeah. And traveling around as well, because you were in New York. Was it just before Christmas?
Yeah. Well, I realized that we're such a small island, even though we have often behaved like we are a continent. And like I read this book once called Tribes
Mm.
by someone called Seth Godin, and it's like a PR book, but it
Okay.
basically says that if your product is good, there'll
Yeah.
be a market for it somewhere. And I was like, well, that must apply to music. So I was like, who's my audience? And you
Mm.
said about sort of the different genres that I like to experiment in, and that's just
Yeah.
me trying to find my voice and work out who wants to listen. And
Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe it's just a couple of us, but I feel quite I'm having a good time doing it. Sort of thing.
Yeah, knowing because I go to New York quite regularly,
Oh dear.
knowing the New York audiences,
Yeah,
I reckon you went down really, really well.
they're really fun because I find in the UK, unless you're like sort of north of Manchester or whatever,
Mm.
anyone in the south was just like, if it's good, they won't tell you. Like you might bump into someone 5 beers later at the urinal,
Yeah,
and they're like,
yeah,
"Oh yeah, that was great," and I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, thanks, man." You're wondering if it was received well. But in New York, if you're good, they'll tell you. But also, if they're
yeah,
bad, I've been in a few
so,
places
yeah,
where if someone doesn't like you, they'll tell you as well. It's like, all right,
yeah, yeah,
that's good. At least you know.
and well, at least you know where you stand.
That's it.
Um,
Yeah.
Before I go back in time, I just wanted to pick up on something which I saw about your travels.
Okay.
That you're in LA,
Yes.
and there's a clip on, or I think it's on your YouTube channel,
Yeah.
of you singing "Need a Holiday" a cappella.
Yeah.
Was that the audience sitting around you singing along?
Yeah. Yeah. They were
That
amazing.
was
Yeah.
insane.
Thanks, man. That was really fun. I got told that gig was teetotal, so I was like, "That's okay, that's all right. I don't drink before I play anyway."
Yeah.
But then there's people laughing and crying, and at the end, I realized that it's LA sober, which means everyone's on mushrooms. I was like,
Microdosing all day
yeah, yeah.
long. Yeah.
But it was one of the best gigs I ever did, and I think
Oh,
they're just really open people, and I
yeah.
I didn't know what to expect from LA because everyone was like, "Oh, be careful, you'll get
Mm,
sucked into this sort of." Everyone's trying to make it, and then honestly, I've made some such amazing friends there. Everyone's so
yeah.
sweet, and yeah, that was a great night.
I was gonna say, what was that feeling like? Because you're doing a cappella, so it's just you, it's just your voice, and then
Yeah,
the audience starts joining in, but they were actually in harmony with you. It
yeah,
wasn't like 75 Northern blokes going, "Hey,
yeah,
I miss
yeah,
it home." You know, they knew the
yeah,
song, they knew the rhythm, they
yeah,
knew when to work with you.
yeah.
It looks like a choir.
Yeah, thanks, man. I think there's a few singers in the audience, but also yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that song I wrote it with a friend of mine in the sound check of a gig,
Yeah,
because he was playing the same bill as I was playing, and then we did it that night. And ever since
yeah,
then, it's just a real sort of if the gig's going pretty crap and I play that song, it sort of brings it back a little bit.
yeah, yeah,
It feels a bit gospely in that sense. So yeah,
yeah,
it's fun. It's a
yeah,
fun song.
yeah. It's a very, very
Yeah.
good song.
Thank you,
Right.
mate.
Let's scoot back a little bit then. So,
Yeah.
according to your own biog, you started learning piano at 7.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guitar mastered by 13.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
dabbled. Yeah,
Yeah.
two chords. Yeah.
Okay. And your first band in your teenage years. Right.
Oh
So
yeah.
the question is,
Yeah, go on.
what was your first band called?
Oh, okay. So we had a few name changes. I'll
Yeah.
walk you through them in 20 seconds. Initially, we were called Compulsive Behavior.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's good. But then
Yeah.
we changed our name. No one was listening, so we changed
Yeah.
our name to Awkward Silence. That happened. And then and then I was 16 and I was at college, and we changed our band name to Toast. And we thought this is a
Okay.
great name. And there's a pub in Kingston, not Jamaica, but Kingston upon
Yeah.
Thames.
Times, yeah.
And well, it was packed out, and we were
Yeah.
16. We shouldn't have been there, but we
Yeah.
were in this pub. And there was all these girls there. They made placards, and they were like, "We don't like the band name Toast. Say no to Toast." They were trying to
Oh, no.
before we even played our first gig. They were sort of like, "We don't like your band name." But
Oh, my
so we just
God.
did. That was it. So yeah, Toast. And then I think we changed our name to Accident and Emergency, and that was it. That was the end. Yeah, yeah,
It tells a lot about people as musicians, as fledgling musicians, when you ask them the
yeah,
name of the first band and you think to
yeah.
yourself, okay, we are the Almighty or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Do you know what though? I don't know about your story, but like for me, you're young, and part of the charm of it is you're so naive, which is wonderful because you think,
Yeah.
we're gonna make it, we're gonna be rock stars,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we didn't do any work to becoming rock stars. We
No.
just thought it was gonna land at our feet, and now I'm like, oh, actually, romance is a part of it, and dreaming is part of it, but actually just putting the graft in. I wish someone told
Yeah.
me that younger. I was like, damn
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we started our first band in 1979, so
Wow.
that's must be before you were born.
Only just. No, you're
Only
all right.
just.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we called ourselves the Test Tube Babies.
Nice.
Only to find out there was already a band called Peter and the Test Tube Babies, and we thought,
Ah,
what are the odds of
but
two
that's what
people having that
happens.
thought? Yeah,
That's what happens with test tubes sometimes. You get
yeah,
you get twins, don't you? So
yeah,
it's like,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, they already had a record deal, so we changed our name to
Ah,
something. Yeah,
bastards. Yeah,
but yeah, and we did exactly the same.
did
The
you?
fact that we know 3 chords, the fact that
Yeah,
we've got 3 fans,
yeah,
the
yeah,
fact that we've got 3 songs,
yeah.
surely we're destined for greatness.
But that's the beginning of punk right around then as
Oh,
well,
we
right?
were,
Yeah,
or
that's
just
great.
the tail end.
Nice. All right.
Um, but yeah, we were a punk band. Yeah,
That's what it's all about. Oh, that's great. Have you got
yeah.
recordings of that stuff?
I've still got the practice tapes from
Oh
1979.
yeah, we'll do a little switch. We can we'll have to
Yeah, yeah,
next time.
very, very hissy because it was recorded on the cheapest tape
Yeah,
recorder.
like 4 track or something.
Um, no, it was just somebody's mum's tape recorder,
Oh wow,
like a radio cassette,
that's
stuck in the
amazing.
corner of the room behind the
Nice.
drums. Yeah, but
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
I'll send them over to you.
Yeah, I'd love to have a listen.
Yeah. What was the first song you wrote?
Yeah, so so the first song I wrote, I remember I was really into bands like well, like Thin Lizzy, Led Zeppelin, Chili Peppers,
Yeah.
and I couldn't really play anything really well. And the bass player of the band, the first band I was in, his dad played for Chris Rea, right?
Nice. Yeah.
But the bass player, who I was friends with him from college, I knew he didn't like the way I played because I was shit. Like, and so it was a problem. It was a problem.
Yeah.
But the first song that I brought to the band was called "Fake Love Never Prospers," and it was about the
Oh.
waitress at Starbucks. And we were meant to be revising for our GCSEs and we ended up writing this poem. And yeah, I never spoke to her. That was a problem as well. You know, like
Oh, dude, you should have picked up the courage.
could have been a different life.
Yeah, well, it could have been, unless there was like this huge age gap, and then it might have been a tad awkward, mightn't it?
Maybe. Yeah, so Fake Love Never Prospers. And it sounds like it's a little sort of like a Garth Brooks sort of like a country song. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was just a loud noise. But it started with a solo. So
Started with a solo.
who does that? Who does that?
Oh, Whitesnake power
Oh,
ballad.
maybe. That's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Whitesnake power ballad. Did you have long hair at the time as well?
I didn't. That came a little bit later. I was a
Yeah,
little bit late mature, and that was in my early 20s in my
yeah.
loveless marriage. But yeah, that's another story. No, I shouldn't say that. Shouldn't say
No, all characters hereby mentioned are fictitious and made up purely for
that.
entertainment
Exactly.
purposes.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, what is it then about making your music that keeps you going? Because your music comes across with a definite passion in it.
Thanks,
You
man.
can hear artists on the radio
Mm.
all day long who are definitely just going through the numbers. You know,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, break, verse, chorus,
Yeah.
bye bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yours has got there's a definite passion behind it. You've taken a lot of time over the production of it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I definitely have. I think for me, I think the going back to the reason I got into writing songs is I feel so misunderstood a lot of the time, and I'm like, well, this
Okay.
is my chance to put it right.
Yeah.
This is either who I am, if it's about me, or this is how I feel about something, and I just feel like it's some kind of emotional exorcism. You know, you're getting this
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
out there, and
Yeah.
that's the main thing. And with the production, I never really touched that before, but because of pandemic,
Yeah.
you know, we're sort of I read somewhere that Kylie Minogue produced her new album, and I was
Mm.
like, well, if Kylie can do it, I'll have a go. So, like anything, a little bit of knowledge is dangerous.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got really involved in production, and and after pandemic, I'd bring it to one of my friends who's a really successful mix engineer, and
Mm.
I can't tell you what he told me when I bought him my production. He was like, what is this? Like, what is this? Ever since then, he's been very sweet and he's taught me lots of little bits. And I've got a lot
Yeah.
better. And now I do most of my production myself, but it's been a
Yeah.
steep learning curve. But it saved me a lot of money. But also, it's
Yeah.
got what I'm doing closer to how I want it to sound. And going back to what you were saying earlier, even though it's not a band, it's me. But I use a live drummer a lot on these
Yeah.
recordings, and it just brings it back to life. I think it's
Yeah, I think
yeah,
any musician would agree with you there
yeah,
that if you are a singer-songwriter, having that
yeah,
live drums is most probably the most important other
yeah.
instrument.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I'd put all this production on a song, and not to get too geeky about it, but there were loads of stuff like triggers and samples and all kinds of things coming in, and then I'd send it to my mate to play drums on, then I end up taking everything off because the drums it just breathes a lot better, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't even explain it. I don't know what the science is, but there's something cool going on there.
Oh, I think Rick Rubin will have something to say about that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, what was it? Space was his
right.
one of his most famous sayings. Songs need space to breathe, and
Is that
instruments
what he
need
says?
space. Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Is that why
Yeah.
he doesn't wear shoes? Probably just give his feet some space.
Well, and it's mostly why he's so successful because he just says to
Yeah,
people, "I'm not recording that. It needs space." And you're
yeah.
like, "Oh, thanks, mate." Yeah.
He's
Uh,
he's he's a cool. His story is amazing as well.
oh, it
How he
is. It
started Death
is.
Jam and stuff. It's like yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk now about Homesick.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had a Dance Nation remix of the
Yes.
track. How did that happen?
So in pandemic, I was working a night shift. I still worked in pandemic. I was really lucky, and I worked at a big recording studio in Chiswick, but I did the night reception.
Yeah.
And the reason why I was able to work is for insurance purposes. They had to have someone there, and occasionally you'd get an artist come in. I think Adele came in to do some stuff or whatever, and but mostly it was just me looking after the building. And I'd write loads of songs, and through the internet, I met this guy called Alan Chan who was on The Voice. He was on Ollie Mers's team, and I ended up writing with him through WhatsApp and did some
Yeah.
productions for him and did some really fun songs. And then, but he introduced me to Dance Nation, and
Yeah.
yeah, and we became friends. And they've done a couple of things for me I've got coming out, and I yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. I love the
Yeah.
original, and but I could hear it in some kind of like German sort of, trance club or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really love what they've done with it. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. It is
Yeah,
incredibly different.
yeah,
It's yeah.
yeah.
So where was the video shot?
For the remix.
Yeah.
Yeah, the remix was shot at the guy who filmed it was shot in the first day of his new flat. So we had no budget, and it's a green
All
screen.
right.
So
Ah,
that's
right.
literally it. Yes.
'Cause I was watching it, I was trying to work out, is that a
Yeah,
decompression chamber? Is it an
yeah,
aeroplane?
yeah, yeah.
It green screened
He-
the whole
So,
thing.
the same guy. He's doing the video for Pedal to the Metal, and this time
Yeah.
we wanted to. I don't want to jump ahead too much, but
Yeah.
we got this little toy car, and
Yeah.
we just took it all around London. And it's basically it's about my bromance with this car, but it's still low budget. But we sort of figured, well, if you don't have any money to make a video, then don't try and look like you got money. Just
Yeah.
make work with what you have, kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the best thing. And the same goes to songwriting and song production
Uh-huh.
and recording. If you don't have it,
Yeah,
use a different technique.
yeah, for sure.
Present a bare soundscape. Don't try
Yeah,
and
yeah,
double everything and make it sound squishy and horrible.
yeah.
Um,
Guilty of that sometimes. Yeah, they're
we
still
all,
out
we
there.
all are, of course we are.
Yeah, yeah.
So and you actually work at Abbey Road as well.
I do. I make the tea,
Yeah,
sometimes the beer.
yeah,
Actually, quite a lot of the beer. Let's be honest.
yeah, yeah.
The tech team at the moment are refurbishing Studio One, and
Wow.
they sort of been roping people in to help with that, and they pay them in beer, which is nice. So but it's my job to make the. I don't brew the beer, but I just pour it. So, no, I'm very lucky. I'm very very lucky,
Yeah.
and so many times in my life I've tried to give up music and be sensible. And like before started working at Abbey Road, I was going to be sensible, and then I was like, well, I can't give up making my album now. Like
No.
this is the place to be, isn't it? So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Absolutely.
no,
Yeah.
I'm very lucky. I very much love being there, and it's like a little family. It's yeah, very cool.
Yeah. Does the building, does the environment in there, does that inspire you to keep pushing your music? Because so much of, the world's
Yeah.
greatest music has come out of there.
Yeah. Well, I keep learning how many things were done there, like the Glenn Miller band
Scary. Yeah.
and
Scary, isn't
the
it?
Goons. Like,
Yeah.
so I never got my granddad's humor. He was really off the wall, right? And I
Yeah.
just thought he was in his 80s. He's just losing it. Turns out he must have been a Goons fan, because
Oh,
like,
yeah.
but yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. But then the people that work there, they know, like me and some friends of mine as well. They're all artists, and
Mm.
they're very supportive. And one of my friends has just made me a guitar pedal, because
Yeah.
he came out to my gig in New York. A shout out to Mark Playford, actually. He's a
Yeah. Yeah.
good
Please
guy.
do. Yeah.
He came out to my gig in New York, and he was like, "Your gig was great, but your guitar sounded a bit shit. So I'm gonna make you this pedal." And he made me a compression pedal,
Fantastic.
and it sounds great. And now yeah, anyway, so yeah, but to answer your question properly, when everyone goes home in the evening,
Yeah.
which is quite rare that there's no one in the building, but when there
Yeah.
isn't anyone
Yeah.
there, I will go and play the piano, and it just you sort of get goosebumps, and
Oh, wow.
feel very very lucky. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sort of, I'm a little bit spiritual, but not massively religious. But in
Mm.
those moments, you sort of like, you feel like the veil is thin. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Because there's got to be something in that building.
yeah,
It
yeah,
it's it can't just be all of these people from all the way around the world, from different races, different
yeah,
colors, different abilities.
yeah,
I've gone in there and knocked it out the park
yeah,
time and
yeah,
time and time and time again.
yeah, yeah.
There's got to be something. There's some mojo on the door or
I've
something.
got goosebumps now you're saying that, which is really funny. And often we'll get clients in from like Brazil or America, and
Mm.
I sort of see things through their eyes, because yeah, which is a very special thing. But stereo was invented there. It was patented, and that's kind of nuts
That's
when you think about that.
incredible.
Yeah,
The legacy of that whole organization is
yeah,
timeless.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it's owned by Universal Music now,
it is. Yeah,
for better or worse. But at least
yeah.
they're the massive corporation. They also own a third of Spotify, so it's like, and I've thought like let's not be bitter about the big guys owning stuff.
Mm.
But it makes me more sort of determined to not just with my music, but I'd love to like build a little independent label like
Yeah,
Rick Rubin with Def Jam or something.
yeah, 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 yeah,
So I
yeah.
think that's the only way. You can't complain about the corporates if you're not gonna put your own hand in. So
Totally,
yeah,
totally.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because streaming revenues are, I think the politest way to put it. They're difficult, aren't they? You know,
It's a little nuts, and for me, like I'm really grateful as well because it's getting you a new audience, and you can't knock that. But I
yeah,
can't make a living off of it, and so my
no,
goal when the album's eventually done, I'm not going to put it on Spotify until I've sold a certain amount of physicals, I think,
that's a good idea.
and I'll
Yeah,
tour the hell out of it until it's happened. And
yeah.
I mean, yeah, who knows what might happen, but that's my business plan because I just think Spotify's great, but I've put
Mm.
so many years in. I'm like, I can't just put it on Spotify straight away. It's got
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
But hey,
yeah. I'm a big fan of having physical media anyway, because
yeah,
not only because it generates money directly to the artist
yeah.
or the filmmaker or whatever the media is.
Uh-huh, definitely.
It's something tangible, isn't it? It's something
Oh, absolutely.
tactile. Yeah,
Yeah, tactile's great, especially
yeah.
now when the world's like in some ways closer than ever, but also more lonely than ever. So
Oh yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I get you.
I haven't seen you for 3 years. Well, we spoke on Facebook last night.
But it
No,
feels
but I
like you
haven't seen
have.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, like or sometimes I'll see someone, but like even for people in my family, and we have a family WhatsApp group, but like we're always posting pictures in it, and when I see them in person, I'm like, oh, this is way better than just seeing
Oh yeah,
photos. It's like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it's better than 4K when you see somebody in
yeah,
real
yeah.
life, isn't it? Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
lyric in that somewhere, definitely.
Well, I'll leave it to you because
Yeah.
there ain't no way I can rhyme 4K with anything. Um, sorry, just
No,
my
no, you good.
limitations.
No
Uh,
way.
One of the things I'm picking up in our conversation here is, you've said yourself you're not terribly spiritual, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but it feels to me as if music is a therapy for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely is. Yeah, yeah, for
that
sure.
idea of being able to put your voice into a song
Yeah.
is very therapeutic because nobody can answer you back.
Yes. Yeah,
Nobody can interrupt you. Nobody can talk over you. They can turn
that's
the
true.
song off,
That's true. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but they can't change your message.
That's true. Even live though, like there's some gigs I still do, like pub gigs or whatever,
Mm,
and there's some gigs that have the sport on behind you, these gigs, and I'm like, okay, we're just gonna embrace this, and but like you can kind of play around with the audience to try and get their attention or be with them, and I kind of like the fun of it in that sense, and yeah, I don't know, I just think it's so malleable. There's so much
mm,
to it, and
yeah.
even today I was feeling a little bit like, so I put my back out, not going that
Mm.
too much. I think it's years of carrying guitars around
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
sleeping in weird positions on buses, whatever.
yeah, yeah,
But like, put my back out. I was like, I don't know if I can do this thing. But I got booked for a cool gig in Germany, and it's just like I'll send you a picture of the venue, and I'm like, well,
yeah.
I'm quite lucky to get asked to do this. So
Oh,
I guess I'll keep
definitely,
going. It's like,
definitely. Did you manage to find a Martin guitar case?
not yet. No,
No.
I'm gonna. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. Yeah, bless you. Yeah,
I saw you
yeah,
on Facebook saying,
yeah, yeah.
"Anybody got a Martin guitar
Yeah,
case?
please. Well, that's only
Please."
because we're trying to find the cheapest way to make it work, and I'm doing
Mm,
a tour in March, April, and we're driving, so that's okay. But
yeah,
like when it comes to like flying, sometimes you can buy 2 flight tickets, and I'll strap my guitar in next to me somewhere.
yeah, sure, yeah,
Or
yeah,
if I can't afford that, I'll strap it somewhere else down the plane, and I'll sort
yeah.
of be, I'll say to the person, "Oh, it's okay. They're a really good passenger. They'll be fine." Um,
They won't take
yeah,
the armrest.
yeah, exactly. Terrible sickness, but yeah.
Yeah.
Better than a crying baby. But
Yeah.
no, yeah, not yet. But like, yeah, it's for that gig, which will
Yeah.
be fun. But I'm just like, just when I'm ready to give up, it's like something
Yeah.
might happen. I'm like, okay, just a little bit longer. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
there must still be that fire within you
I think
to
so.
to use that to say, okay, another gig then. Thank you.
I
Yes.
think so. I keep saying until I have the vinyl of my album in my hand, and
Mm.
whatever, then that's it. Like, but then I'm like, I probably will. I need to resolve to the fact this is way of life as an artist. Like
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
it's how you see the world and yourself. And but what I'm saying to myself is, as soon as I've done the album, then we'll take a little break. Like we'll,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Well,
we'll see.
you mostly physically need one by the time the album's out.
Yeah, it's been what's
Yeah.
the life. This for me generally. Like I'm in my late 30s, although my stage age is obviously 21. But like I it's a whole life's work, and it is
Yeah,
still, every song does seem to be getting better. So I'm like,
yeah,
well, the album is a real, like, it's still my first thing, and that's,
mm,
it's weird when it's someone like Ed Sheeran or whatever was like 18 or 19 when he got signed. It's like, well,
yeah,
br- forward 20 years for me, and it's like,
mm,
but yeah, still
yeah.
going.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your writing process. Then, are you very disciplined, or are you? I've got 5 minutes. I'll go see if I can get something out.
So I was really disciplined. I did a master's degree in 2019,
Mm,
and that put me in all kinds of wonderful positions where I was writing with all kinds of people, and we went to Sweden and did some writing with Sony, and all this stuff was really cool for some K-pop and J-pop songs, and
yeah.
that sort of made me think, oh wow, it's not just about me. I don't have to rely on my own emotions. Sometimes you
Mm,
can say like, oh, do you want to write a song? And it's, for me growing up, it was never cool. I don't know about you, but like in a band, it was
mm,
like, no, you write it together in the band. You don't write with other people. And whereas
yeah.
now it's like perfectly acceptable to do a writing session with someone, and that's been really great for me because it's not just relying on when I feel like writing. So
Mm,
during the pandemic and Zoom, and then when things opened up a little bit, we did hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of writing sessions, and
yeah.
um, and also on my own, when I did the night shift, I wrote like over 500 songs that I just
Wow.
recorded on my phone, and I'd often play them to the cleaners in the
Mm,
morning. They'd come in at 5 a.m. and
yeah.
a couple of times if I see a tear in their eye or they're moved afterwards, I'm like, well, this is a good song. And so that was the process then. But now it's like a couple of friends and I will might send some ideas on WhatsApp just for fun.
Hmm.
Like we were out drinking one night, and a
Yeah.
friend of mine, he, an LA guy actually, and he
Mm.
said, "Oh, we should write a song called The Mirror and the Camera, like the difference about it."
Oh
And
yeah.
so we've been slowly writing this song and just sending it back and forth. And it
Yeah.
might be 1 year, it might be another month, or it might be
Yeah.
10 years. But like, so some songs seem to come immediately, and other
Yeah.
songs overnight. Like when was it? When, not to talk about politics too much, but with the whole Trump thing recently,
Mm.
and then and Brexit before that, like suddenly I sat down when I was waiting for the kettle to boil, and this I wrote this song called "Won't You." It's like this social commentary thing, and it all came out
Mm.
in one go. And that doesn't
Yeah. Yeah.
that doesn't happen all the time,
All
but
right.
that was nice because
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes you
Yeah.
spend 15 years crafting something and it's still not there. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah, a bit of both, I guess.
Yeah. Have you ever got to the end of a song? You know, you've done your due diligence.
Yeah,
You've written the whole thing. It's engineered beautifully. It's produced beautifully, but you just
yeah.
don't like it.
Yeah, all the time. Like even stuff I listen to now. So even the Homesick song, which I love as a song, by the way,
Yeah.
and it might go on the album, but I'm like, you know what? It's got live drums, but it needs some live strings because
Right.
I played the strings in, and it sounds cool. But I'm like,
Yeah.
you want to get that kind of elbow vibe, that band
Yes.
elbow.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
if it had a live little string quartet, that would bring
Yeah.
it out. And I'm like, okay, so I'm still unhappy with it, but I want to get to a place where I'm like, I can do no more to it, and
Yeah. Yeah.
so I think it's definitely that'll be worth it. But some songs, it's just like, nah, I'll leave it forever, like unless someone
Mm.
else wants it.
Yeah. Don't do a George Lucas though and completely redo it.
Did
You
he?
know.
What did
Oh,
he? I don't know.
he did a load of stuff in Star Wars, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
He
I don't.
added a load of
Oh, extra effects and stuff.
updated CGI effects. So you've
Oh,
got
in recently.
maybe 10 years ago.
Oh no, I don't know how I missed that. Oh wow.
Oh yeah. So do you remember in the first one, Han Solo walked behind Jabba the Hutt
Right.
in
Yeah,
one
yeah,
scene? He
yeah.
now walks in front of him, but steps on his tail.
Oh wow.
It's
Yeah,
awful.
yeah.
It's
That's weird.
truly bad, truly bad.
But
Um,
the old cuts are the best.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. The originals
Although,
always are.
a bit of Abbey Road trivia for you. So this is what my life's like now. If you're driving through London with me, I'll be like, I played that venue. I played that venue. Whereas my dad will be like, I fixed the car there. I fixed the car there. But we're also now with where I'm working at the minute. I have all these little like factoids. But Star Wars actually saved Studio One because after the pop stuff with like, well, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club, and before that
Yeah,
Glenn Miller and Edward
yeah,
Elgar before that,
yeah,
um and then there was like, it was laying low for like a bit of the
mm,
70s, and
yeah,
then George Lucas and John Williams did Star Wars,
yeah,
and that was it. That was the first like kind of Hollywood type thing they did there, and they realized they could repurpose it for the
yeah,
big
yeah,
orchestras.
yeah.
But for a while, Pink Floyd were bringing their car engines in and like fixing it in Studio One, and
Oh my God.
so like I love the fact that Star Wars is just, that's kind of fixed it in a way.
But again, it goes to that point. There's got to be something about that building.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
because John Williams is well, he's a genius, isn't he? you can, he wrote bloody Jaws, two notes there, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
one of the greatest themes ever written.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's a clever
That
guy.
that's amazing. I watched a documentary on oh, who was it? Was it Steven Spielberg as
Yeah,
well?
yeah,
And he was apparently there was like a problem with the mechanism of the shark. That's
mm,
why you don't see it very often. And obviously
yes, yeah,
adds to the effect of it now with that
yeah.
with the music. Anyway, yeah, it's cool. Going off.
Yeah, oh, awesome film, awesome film. I
Yeah,
could talk about Jaws all night.
love
Don't
that.
get me started.
That's another episode. Let's get
It is
together.
another episode,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I wanted to pay you another compliment as well.
Oh, okay, great.
And if it's you playing the strings on or the cello on this,
Right.
congratulations.
Okay.
Built to
No.
Shine.
Oh no, that's my friend Alex Priest. He's just moved to Australia, which really sad. One of
All
my best
right.
friends. Thanks, man. I love the fact you
Yeah,
know that song. Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not just the cello. As you get into I think it's like going out of the verse into the chorus. You've got like a Hammond organ coming in underneath it
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Do you know who
what a
that is?
sound!
So that was the first proper EP I did as me, Adam Wedd, and I reached out to a guy called Dave Lynch, not the guy who sadly just passed, but there's
Yeah.
another guy, Dave Azumi Lynch, and he's done a lot of records that I really have loved.
Mm.
And he had a studio at the time in Lewes, opposite Lewes Football Club, in an old barn, and he'd done some stuff with Imogen Heap, and
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if you know Duke Special and like
Rings a bell.
Foy Vance and
Yeah.
a lot of these kind of guys. And anyway, I absolutely loved his production stuff, and he did that EP with me. And I also got John Parker from Liz Loppy to play double bass on it. And on Built to Shine, you can hear this like high end
Yeah.
bass slides, and
Yeah.
I'm really proud of that. But it was at a time in my life where I wasn't really happy with my personal situation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I'm glad the song's still living on, and maybe I should bring it back a little bit. So
Yeah.
this is really lovely for me. Thank you for saying that.
Well, but that's the thing about art, though, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
music is art. Music is what
yeah,
is the most accessible form of art.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And it's when you put that effort in and
Yeah,
sprinkle that little bit of magic dust over the top of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Although what I will say is, Built to Shine, it's the one Spotify editorial playlist I have because, like, to get these editorial playlists, like all the
Yeah.
labels paying money to get their artists on and all this stuff, and it's all very political. But the
Mm.
one playlist I have, it's called Spotify Playlist for Pets, and what it is it's people that are going out for the day and they press play on their
Yeah.
and Alexa or whatever, and it plays Built to Shine. So it's like music for dogs. It's good. It's great. I love it.
Is it music for walkies?
Music for walkies.
That's actually a great name for an album. Music for
Yeah,
walkies.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Hold you to that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So with Pedal to the Metal just coming out, then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're looking forward. Okay.
Oh, very much so. Yeah,
Because that's what you should be doing. You've got
yeah,
the skill, you got the catalog. Look
yeah.
forward.
Yes.
The album is how far away?
So I think I've got the track listing down, and
Yeah.
it was meant to be done now, but the plan is to have it finished for the end of this year for my
Yeah.
patrons, and then next year get it pressed and printed, and I
Yeah.
might have a couple of people that record companies that might want to invest just to license it for vinyl and stuff. So the
Fantastic.
goal is this time next year to have vinyls, cassettes, t-shirts, merch,
Yeah.
and the album. I think it's going to be called A Hangover Full of Memories. I think that's what it's going to be
Yeah,
called.
I like that.
Yeah, which my
Yeah,
friend,
good one.
yeah. So I think that's going to be really fun. So I want it to be
Yeah.
a mix of the past, but very much looking forward as well,
Yeah.
and just to tie up all the loose ends, but to celebrate
Yeah.
everything that I've done so far, and I'm really excited about it. But we've got one more EP before that.
Yeah.
I've been really hesitant to say this is my album because I'm like, you only get one chance to have a debut album, and I'm like, well, maybe this will be the only one I could do.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you could always change your name and then have
That's
another
true.
debut album.
Reg
Yeah.
Dwight.
Yeah.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
it.
Just grow your hair long, mustache.
Yeah,
do
exactly.
classic 70s disco. I'm sure you've got it in yourself somewhere.
I'm down for that. I can find that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. You
As long
can't
as I don't
beat
have
it.
to dance, I'll clear the dance floor. But I
Yeah,
can.
you can't beat a bit of wah wah to a 16 hi hat, can you?
That's the best way. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's guaranteed to get your groove on it.
And it soundtracks some of the best cop dramas that exist as well. So,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Drive through the cardboard boxes quick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We can direct it.
We can, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a song? This is always a bit of a question. People go, "Oh bloody hell!" Is there a song that stands out in all of your life that you wish you'd written?
Oh, that someone else has written.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's so difficult actually because there's so many. Um, like when I was 15, it's not cool to say this now, but it probably wasn't cool then, especially as a musician. But I was a massive U2 fan because I kind of was like 15 when like act no not Acting Baby, like one of their albums came out, and I remember like seeing a live, was it Live in Boston DVD or
Oh
something,
yeah, 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 yeah,
and when they played Where the Streets Have No Name, it was just
yeah.
like, this is kicking off. And like, what is
Mm,
this sound? And I think in that moment, I was like,
yeah.
wow, this music can transform stuff. And there
Yes,
was sort of
definitely.
there was a sweet spot when, as well, sadly, with 9/11, and I saw U2 and a lot of other artists play this memorial concert
Mm,
for the Twin Towers. And they played like Amazing Grace or something. And again, it was one of those moments where the veil's thin
mm,
between Earth and wherever else. And
yeah, yeah,
so there was on the name, but then I'm like recently like Leonard Cohen, like the blue raincoat. I just it's
yeah,
so beautiful that
yeah,
song. Like those songs that's just one voice and a guitar and you can hear a pin drop. Like
yeah,
no
yeah,
gimmicks or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so yeah, what about you? What-
Me, it would it would be Designed for Life for the Manic Street Preachers. I'm
Oh
incredibly boring.
no, they're great
It
bands. Great
it is
bands.
just about my favorite song of all time.
Yeah, yeah.
It has a very strong meaning for me because at the time it came out, my mental health wasn't great,
Oh
and
man,
I
yeah.
went to see them, and it was a huge lift for me.
Just City, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it just hit me right in the chest. I
Yeah.
had to put up with 45 minutes of Catatonia before they came out,
That's
and
amazing.
I wasn't a fan of Catatonia,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I got through that. But
Yeah.
that made me think that it might not be the most
Yeah.
beautifully written song. It might not be the
No,
most
it's great.
clever lyrics or anything like that.
Yeah.
But to me, that just sums up how I felt in that moment
Yeah.
where I started to
Yeah.
move on from things. So
That's a great story. Now, when I hear that, I'll think of you. And it's one of the episodes I want to listen to actually, because I saw that down on the episode list
yeah.
about Richie and Mannix and stuff. And one of my best mates growing up was a massive Mannix fan, and it got
Yeah.
me into them. And James, like, that whole time, what a great time for music. It's
Oh,
just yeah,
incredible,
yeah,
incredible.
yeah,
We're really fortunate that well, I'll say we're really fortunate. Maybe not so now in the past couple of years. I think music is
yeah,
suffering a little bit at the moment,
yeah, yeah.
but we're really fortunate that our formative years have
Oh yeah,
included so many
yeah,
fantastic bands.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
lucky.
Yeah, for sure. No, I
Yeah,
don't think I've ever seen them. I did when I was doing night reception at the last studio. Their producer Dave Erringer,
yeah,
he came in a few times, and I was a bit like fangirly. I was like,
yeah,
"Ooh."
yeah.
Also, I'm always a bit fangirly over a good beard as well, so I can't grow
Yeah.
one. He's got a good
All right.
beard as well, so I was
Yeah.
like yourself. It's like,
Thank you very
yeah,
much.
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
It's
Oh, good band.
yeah. This is just age.
Well,
It's nothing clever. Age and condition.
something for me to look forward to then. That's good.
You've got years yet, mate. And again, the other impossible question is, what is your favorite song? If what's your go-to song? If you
For me or something else.
for you, if
Ah,
you're feeling a
um.
bit down, do you always go back to a band or a song?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's tough. That is tough. Uh, well, I guess music always makes you feel a certain way, and if I'm wanting to feel if I'm wanting to feel hopeful or whatever,
Yeah,
I'll put on a. Do you know the band Postal Service? They only did
I
one
do.
album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that Give Up album,
yeah,
ironically, I love that album, and
yeah,
I love the way it was made as well. Like
yeah.
they, that whole thing, and it just reminds me of believing anything's possible.
Cool.
So haven't heard that for a while, but then it's not a very cool album to like, but I remember loving that Train album,
All right.
self-titled, with
Yeah,
Drops of Jupiter, and just every
yeah,
song is just it's great.
yeah,
They're like those albums make me feel something positive.
yeah. So you've got your new gig coming up in Germany. Any other gigs?
Yeah, so I've got the next proper one is this one in Germany. It's a private booking, but it's going to be wicked. And then end of April, I've got another one in Berlin.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the venue is, but like that's gonna be fun. And then I've got my first gig in Helsinki in Finland on the
Wow.
8th. And I'm trying to plan my tour out at the minute because I've got
Yeah.
got a spreadsheet and I've
Yeah.
got venues I played before, and I've got house concerts I played, and I'm like, you know what, let's make it work.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
using ChatGPT actually to like try
Yeah.
and help calculate the distances and to try and fill the gaps between venues. And I'm like,
Yeah.
the next 18 months, if I want to make this album, I just need to get out there. Nothing, as soon as I hop on a plane or wherever, people think you mean business, which I do.
Yeah.
And I've noticed there's a real spike in Spotify streams and
Yeah.
Bandcamp downloads, and I'm like, I just need to get back out there. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, it won't be till like next month. I've got I'm trying to get the live show ready,
Yeah.
and yeah, March, April, May, I'll be playing everywhere I possibly can.
Right. Well, next time you come up to the north of England,
Oh hell yeah, definitely.
yeah, I'll come and see you.
What's your nearest sort of city where you're at?
Liverpool would be the nearest
Oh,
one.
brilliant! I definitely will.
Yeah.
100%. I played the Cavern Club a long time ago.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, which was
Yeah.
really fun, and I have some
Yeah.
friends that yeah. So yeah, let's do it. That'll be fun. Yeah, that'll be cool.
Definitely.
Good man.
We'll meet up and we'll
Likewise, when you're in London, I'll take you somewhere.
yeah, we'll
You're like,
compare battle scars and
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that'll be fun. Yeah, please let
yeah.
me know when you're in London as well. That'll
I will
be
do. I
yeah,
will
yeah,
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you.
Likewise, 100%.
Thank you for giving me some new songs to listen to.
Oh, bless you.
I really appreciate it. I say that to everybody. You know,
Mm.
I'm really, really blessed to be able to do this and meet the artists that I meet.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
everybody leaves me with something new,
Well,
which is
that's a lovely way to look at it, and I just feel really lucky that you take your time out to listen to me, and thank you. It's really insightful for me as well, and some of these songs that we were talking about now, when I listen to them next time, it will remind me of our chat. So
oh, thank you. That's
it's
really
cool.
nice. Cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Yeah.
cool.
Okay,
Good man.
so we are looking forward to the album
Hell yeah,
this time next year. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. We'll say that.
Vinyl.
Yes,
Everybody buys the vinyl.
absolutely. It's got to
Yeah.
happen.
If you
100%.
don't buy the vinyl,
Yeah,
you're in trouble.
that's it. Thanks,
Yeah.
Phil.
Great. Thank you very much for your time, Adam.
Pleasure.
And I'll speak to you again soon.
See you around soon. Thanks, Phil.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, buddy.